Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of a towering mountain, there lived a young man named Ethan. He was known for his quiet nature and humble spirit, but there was something he had always dreamed of: to reach the peak of that mountain. The mountain was legendary. It stood tall against the sky, its summit shrouded in clouds. The villagers had often told tales of the dangers that lay beyond the halfway point, how the winds grew fierce, the terrain became treacherous, and how many before him had tried and failed to reach the top. But Ethan wasn't like the others. From the moment he could walk, he had been fascinated by that mountain. Every day, as he looked up at it, his heart burned with the desire to stand at the very top and gaze out over the world. One morning, after hearing one too many warnings, Ethan made a decision. He was going to climb that mountain. He gathered his supplies, said goodbye to his family, and began his journey. The first part of the climb was easy. The trail was smooth, the sun was shining, and everything felt right. But as he ascended higher, the path began to narrow. The wind picked up, and his legs started to ache. The farther he went, the harder it became. But Ethan pressed on. At one point, the mountain seemed to challenge him. He reached a sheer cliff, with no way forward but up. It was a moment of doubt. Maybe I'm not strong enough, he thought. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should turn back. But something inside him refused to give up. He thought of the villagers, of all the people who said it couldn't be done. And he reminded himself that there was always a way if you just kept going. So Ethan found a way. He scaled the cliff, using his hands and feet, pushing through his exhaustion. His mind was clear. His heart was determined. As he climbed higher, the winds grew colder, the air thinner, and his body heavier. There were moments when his muscles screamed in pain, and his mind urged him to quit. But Ethan kept climbing, knowing that every step brought him closer to the top, closer to the dream he had held for so long. Then, after days of struggle, when he felt he could go no further, he reached the summit. It wasn't grand or majestic like he had imagined. The peak was small, just enough space for him to stand, his feet firm against the rock. But when he looked around, he realized something incredible. The view was unlike anything he had ever seen, stretching out beyond the horizon, with the village below now looking so small, so distant. And then it hit him. The journey itself had transformed him. He wasn't just looking at the world from the top of the mountain. He was looking at the world from the perspective of someone who had faced every obstacle, who had fought through every challenge, and who had never stopped believing in himself. Ethan smiled, his body tired, but his spirit filled with an unshakable confidence. He realized that it wasn't about the summit. It was about the courage to climb, the willingness to keep going even when everything inside you says to turn back. As he descended the mountain, Ethan passed other climbers. Some were heading up with excitement, others with doubt in their eyes. And he remembered his own doubts when he had first started, and how every moment of fear had turned into strength. He approached one climber and shared his story. "The mountain is steep," Ethan said, "but if you can hold on, if you can keep going, you'll discover a power within yourself that you never knew existed." The climber smiled, and in that moment they understood. Because the mountain wasn't just a physical challenge, it was a test of the human spirit, a test of willpower, perseverance, and faith.